So before we actually start coding here, I just want to kind of show you guys how we're going to create the UI. Now, we could just make plain old forms, plain old buttons, but I'm into something that looks shiny. I like a UI that's pretty, but I cannot make myself. I'm just not a skilled designer, to be honest. I'm more a coder, right? I like to develop software. I'm not the guy who knows how to make it pretty. And luckily, a lot of people out there have made some great tools for us, so we can still get something that looks pretty nice just by adding a few packages and a few pieces of information inside our Angular app, and then we can actually use some very powerful frameworks. Now, there are two I'm going to introduce you to. I'm going to use one of them, but the first one is actually material design. Now, this is from Google, and they've made a lot of great components here. We can just have a look at some of them. What I really like is the Blinky Effect. So if I pick a button here, you can see this it has a hover effect, it has some Blinky Effect. We'll try and click a few of them later, but this is one of the designs. It's called Material Design, and that's the one I'm going to use. But there's also Bootstrap, which is another very, very popular framework, and you can also go and use that instead. They also have a lot of great things to use. If you jump into the documentation here, you can jump into the components, and you can see all the beautiful things Bootstrap can do for you. And it's really up to you which one you pick. Now, you have to note that we're working with Angular. So both these guys are the plain, clean JavaScript setup, but we are going to wrap this inside Angular. So we need some kind of wrapper class that puts this into Angular. Now, luckily for both of them, we have something that can help us wrap these JavaScript packages into Angular. So we're going to use, for the Angular material, for the material design, I'm going to use Angular material. So that's the one we're going to install in the next lesson right here, so we can start using these components and start playing around with those. And again, we have a lot of things here we can work with. Now, when we've installed this, we have buttons looking very nicely, something like this. Notice the blinky blink when I'm clicking them. We have some rounded buttons. We have chips here if you want to see those. Again, there's so many things we can do. I don't want to run into all of them, but we're getting a lot of nice UI for free here just by installing this Angular material setup right here that's built on top of material design, right? Now, the second thing that you could use if you want to, and that I've used in other tutorials, is Bootstrap. Now, Bootstrap also has something called ng-bootstrap right here, which is actually Bootstrap wrapped inside Angular. So ng-bootstrap is a place where you can kind of go and grab the different components from Bootstrap and put in some Angular stuff. So some components need JavaScript, and you'll see those right here. And those, to use those probably in Angular, this guy has built some helper classes for us, or these guys, so it's easy for us to use Bootstrap inside our Angular app. So now you know they're there, and there's a lot to do to start using them. There's getting started guys on both of them, so you can just pick which one you want. I'm going to pick the Angular one in the next lesson. I just want you guys to know this so that you know there are two guys out there, two major players, and there's a lot of other ones out there, so you can go and check it out. But we're going to use Angular material in the next lesson. See you next time. Have fun.